A significant public rally took place in Bangui, the Central African Republic on Friday, July 14th, opposing the proposed changes to the national constitution. The rally, organized by the opposition coalition Republican Bloc for the Defense of the Constitution, BRDC, saw hundreds defy an official ban, expressing their disapproval of the proposed end to the two-term limit for presidents. This major constitutional alteration has sparked discontent amongst many, including BRDC member Mohamed Kamal, who criticized the incumbent for attempting to secure unlimited tenure. Additionally, another controversial provision that could ban dual citizens from running for presidency has been met with public backlash, questioning the inclusivity of the Central African identity. As these issues unfold, the campaign around the new draft constitution is officially underway, set to conclude on July 28th, with the pivotal vote due on July 30th. Meanwhile, President Faustin Archange Touadéra's administration continues to grapple with an ongoing rebellion amidst the residue of years of civil war. Kenya stands on the brink of introducing stringent anti-LGBTQ legislation, which has drawn the ire of advocacy groups globally. The proposed Family Protection Act, driven by MP George Peter Kaluma of the Orange Democratic Movement, looks to harshly penalize same-sex acts, raising the stakes to a minimum of 10 years in prison to a maximum of the death penalty in severe cases, along with a blanket ban on activities promoting homosexuality. This escalating scenario has provoked a coalition of advocacy groups in the United States who are calling on President Biden to suspend ongoing trade negotiations with Kenya. The coalition, encompassing LGBTQI+, labor, trade, HIV, and human rights groups, has formally reached out to U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai, asking her to halt the strategic trade and investment partnership discussions until Kenyan President Ruto pledges to veto this controversial bill. Meanwhile, in the backdrop of Uganda's harsh new anti-LGBTQ law and Ghana's intensifying penalties, human rights groups in Kenya report a concerning rise in attacks against the local LGBTQ community. Please stay connected for more updates on this evolving story. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for the latest news updates here on our channel. In Chad, General Mahamat Idris Deby Itno, the country's current leader, has granted pardon to 110 individuals who were previously incarcerated following protests against the regime last October. These protests erupted in the capital, N'Djamena, and other cities, in response to Deby extending his transitional rule, which was initially established after his father's death in April 2021. According to a presidential decree, those who were tried and sentenced for offenses like unauthorized assembly, intentional assault, and arson during the October 20th protests have now been pardoned. This pardon comes in the wake of allegations of torture and execution on the way to Koro Toro prison, where over 600 individuals, including at least 80 minors, were transported following their arrest. These allegations are vehemently denied by local authorities. This marks a total of 436 individuals involved in the October protests pardoned by the Chadian authorities in less than 4 months, a move perhaps signaling Deby's attempts at reconciliation amidst growing human rights concerns. This Friday, the FIFA Women's World Cup, co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand, springs into action with Nigeria representing Africa's hopes in the opening game against Olympic champions Canada at Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. Aiming to flip the script on their World Cup history, the 9-time African champions are prepped for this tough competition, which also includes matches against co-hosts Australia and Ireland in Group B. Making a historic debut as the first Arab nation to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup, Morocco seeks to leave an impact on the tournament. Meanwhile, Zambia squares off against 2011 world champions Japan in Group C, with additional encounters against Spain and Costa Rica. Rounding off Africa's participation, the reigning African Cup of Nations victors, South Africa, are set for their second World Cup appearance, with their eyes on a victory against Sweden on July 23rd. South Africans topped the chart as the globe's most fervent internet consumers, according to a recent study by Atlas VPN. Surpassing the global average by a striking 3 hours, South Africans logged in for an average of 9.5 hours each day in 2022, showcasing a noteworthy digital habit among the 16 to 64 age group. This internet enthusiasm is driven by the growing web accessibility in the country, as around 70% of South Africans were already connected in 2020, a figure that has since escalated. Fast forward to 2023, the country boasts 43.48 million internet users, marking a remarkable penetration rate of 72.3% for its 60.14 million populace. Despite trailing behind the global average internet speed, South Africa still outshines in terms of mobile and broadband internet affordability and stability in Africa. As per Atlas VPN's report, the leading reasons for South Africans' online presence encompass seeking information, staying connected, and following news and events. American rapper Travis Scott's scheduled concert at Egypt's iconic Giza pyramids on July 28th has been canceled by the Union of Egyptian Musicians. The union has defended this decision, stating that the rapper's performances could violate the traditions of the Egyptian people. Even though international music stars often host large concerts at this landmark location, the musicians' union rarely interferes. However, the union has been opposing Egyptian urban music, particularly rap, and is currently campaigning against what it views as a rewriting of its history. The union scrutinized the public reactions on social media and Scott's artistic stance, claiming that the rapper's so-called strange rituals during performances contradict their traditions. Despite the union's assertions, the specifics of these rituals associated with Travis Scott's act remain unclear. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more music news and updates. Israel has declared its recognition of Morocco's sovereignty over the disputed Western Sahara region, a move likely to bolster Morocco's hold on the area. The Moroccan royal palace confirmed on Monday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had conveyed this in a letter to Morocco's King Mohammed VI. Western Sahara, a former Spanish colony claimed by Morocco since 1975, is listed by the UN as non-self-governing territory. While Morocco views it as part of its national territory, the indigenous Sahrawi people, backed by the Polisario Front and Algeria, demand an independent state. This comes amid heightened tensions between Morocco and Algeria, which severed diplomatic ties in 2021. The U.S. recognized Morocco's claim in 2020 on the condition that Morocco and Israel restore diplomatic ties, which led to the normalization of relations between the two nations under the Abraham Accords. Despite the Israeli recognition, Morocco has reaffirmed its commitment to a two-state solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In a groundbreaking development, the United Arab Emirates has inked a $1.9 billion contract with a government-owned mining enterprise, Sakima, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The announcement was made on Monday by DRC President Felix Tshisekedi, noting that the partnership is set to boost the operations of at least 4 industrial mines in South Kivu and Maniema, 2 regions grappling with instability in the east of the country. This milestone follows a prior agreement between the DRC and UAE-based Primera Group, which received a 25-year contract in December for export rights over certain artisanally mined ores. Primera Group was granted a majority stake in 2 joint ventures, Primera Gold and Primera Metals, providing them preferential export rates for gold, coltan, tin, tantalum, and tungsten. While this initiative is seen as a move against mineral trafficking to armed groups rampant in eastern DRC, concerns remain about the legality and traceability of the ores supplied by artisanal mines. These concerns stem from a recent UN report suggesting that some supply chains could be tainted by or from areas under armed group control. An Egyptian court has handed down a 3-year jail sentence to rights advocate Patrick Zaki for allegedly circulating false information. Zaki, who previously endured 22 months in pretrial detention until December 2021, was prosecuted over an article he authored highlighting discrimination against Coptic Christians in the country. This prolonged legal ordeal has sparked global outrage, especially in Italy, where Zaki was pursuing his studies at Bologna University at the time of his arrest in 2020. In response to the court's decision, 3 liberal opposition figures have chosen to withdraw from the national dialogue initiated by the Egyptian government earlier in May, just shy of the upcoming presidential elections. Coptic Christians, the subject of Zaki's contested peace, form the most significant Christian minority in the Middle East, representing 10 to 15% of Egypt's 105 million population. Stay with us as we continue to bring you updates on this developing story. Ahead of the BRICS summit set for August 22nd in Johannesburg, South Africa's governing African National Congress, ANC, is organizing preparatory meetings with political party representatives from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and other nations. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine is at the forefront of discussions. South African Deputy President and ANC Deputy President Paul Mashatile expressed support for silencing of the guns in Ukraine, advocating for a peaceful resolution driven by dialogue between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky. Meanwhile, Artem Prokofiev of Russia's Communist Party pointed fingers at the USA and Western countries, accusing them of disrupting negotiations and prolonging the conflict. As the summit approaches, doubts linger over whether Putin will attend, given his outstanding international arrest warrant. South Africa's deputy president indicated last week that efforts are underway to dissuade Putin from participating in an attempt to avoid legal and diplomatic complications. Stay tuned for more updates on the BRICS summit and its evolving geopolitical landscape.